Super Mayhem.
Hello friends, Tim here again from Super Mayhem, bringing you some latest video gaming news that's kind of depressing but sort of interesting at the same time. Well, it's finally happened. The World Health Organization has released that there is such a thing as a gaming disorder, according to its latest disease classification manual anyway, and the good news is it's a mental problem or something. So put down your Game Boys, because you might be feeling the wrath as gaming disorder might be affecting you! Holy crap, where'd that come from? So according to the World Health Organization, the following defines whether or not you have a gaming disorder or not. So it says, if gaming is strongly preferred over other activities, the patient does not stop even when there are negative consequences like doing badly at work, compulsive gaming strains the patient's lives or relationships, and this all has been happening for at least a year. So I'm not sure if that fits your bill or not, but luckily for us there are some experts that disagree with this, because it's certainly super vague. So one such expert is Andrew Przybylski, I'm sorry if I killed your name man, who's a psychologist at the Oxford Internet Institute. And he says the criteria doesn't really have anything to do with gaming specifically. He quotes, "You could easily take out the word gaming and put in sex or food or watching the World Cup, and it would still make the same point, I guess." So unfortunately this definition doesn't really label what kinds of games are addicting or anything like that. It just basically says broadly some people play video games too much. It doesn't go into whether there's RPGs or first-person shooters or anything like that. So it's more like a fear campaign, it seems, or some sort of rash reaction to people being on their computer too much. I'm not really sure. So to sum it up, Przybylski basically says this could be true of any aspect of life, and it could lead to all kinds of pathological descriptions of what we do and label them as medical conditions, which I think is fair enough. It's a bit vague. So to emphasize this a little more clearly, we have another expert who is Dr. Etchells, who lectures at Bath Spa University. I hope that's a real university and not just somewhere where you go to bathe and spa. This doctor said, it sets us on a potentially slippery slope. We're essentially pathologizing a hobby. So what's next? There are studies on tanning addiction, dance addiction, exercise addiction, but nobody is having a conversation about including them. So Dr. Etchells goes on to say, I don't think the policy should be informed by moral panics, which is what it feels like is happening at the moment. Dr. Etchells also said that estimates of those who are addicted range from fewer than 0.5% to nearly 50% of players. So there's a pretty big gap on failing to identify who actually fits this new gaming disorder. I mean, something as little as 0.5% versus half of gamers is quite a large gap, depending on which source you listen to. So Dr. Etchells goes on to say again that what we're doing is overdiagnosing. We're sort of pathologizing a behavior that for many people is not harmful in any way. Which is true. I mean, the average gamer comes back from work or after school and plays for an hour or two, goes about their business. It's just a sort of a chill out time or a bit of fun for the whole family, really. So even though a lot of headlines have been saying the World Health Organization has been claiming this as an addiction, they actually chose their words a lot more carefully. They instead classified it under disorders due to addictive behavior. So our mate Andy Przybylski, sorry I'm killing his name again, says if they were going to say it's an addiction, it would really require much higher evidence that doesn't exist yet. I think it's very intentional that they've avoided the term addiction and used an ambiguous term like disorder. So it sounds like the real issue is more along the lines of if someone approaches something compulsively, it might be more the fact that they're compulsively attacking it rather than what they're actually compulsively doing. So the signs are more along the lines of gaming disorder might be rather a symptom of depression, anxiety, or even attention deficit disorder instead of an actual gaming disorder itself, if that makes sense. So maybe we should be treating the underlying causes of such compulsions rather than blaming it on video games. I don't know. I mean, I can kind of see where this argument is coming from, especially when I was younger. I used to play a game called Mu, or MU Online, which is kind of like a Diablo clone where you grind XP to gain up levels and get better armor and better weapons and all that kind of thing. Probably similar to, a lot of people would say, like World of Warcraft or something like that. And there was definitely a time when I was a kid when I didn't want to go on holidays because I wanted to play that game so badly. This probably, in hindsight, maybe was some kind of, I don't want to say gaming disorder, but you might want to go on holidays rather than play games, you know, go on holidays and come back and play games. So I'm not sure if any of you guys have experienced this kind of, I nearly said compulsive behavior, where you would rather play games than do anything else, or do you disagree with this whole saga that's going on? Can you relate to it at all? I mean, let's be open and honest about it, you know, like there's no point hiding from the truth. We probably all know someone that maybe games a bit too much. I know I've got 1 or 2 friends that I see very rarely because they sit at home playing games. Is that a problem? I don't know. I'd like to see them. They'd maybe rather play a game. That's fine. That's life. We're all different. So yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments below, guys. Hopefully you don't negatively rate this video based on the premise, because I'm not swinging either way at the moment. I'm more bringing you the news of what's happening, and your parents might have a sit down talk with you and say, I think you've got a gaming disorder, son or daughter, you know. So you can say, well, maybe I don't, or maybe you do, I don't know. But it's something to talk about anyway, so yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments below if you agree with this, if you don't agree with this. If you've all got a friend that does excessive gaming, that'd be cool. Anyway, guys, I'll be back with a more traditional facts video very shortly with any luck, if I can get my butt into gear. So please do leave a like on this video, it really helps. Subscribe if you are new, and I'll catch you soon.
A huge thanks to Jacob Clark for being our first Mayhem supporter. Without the likes of him, I wouldn't be running. If you want to join the team, please consider taking a look at our Patreon page in the description below for your chance to get some exclusive behind the scenes looks at Super Mayhem, and even access to some sweet downloads.